People living in conflict settings experience ongoing threats to their safety and security, with limited control over their circumstances. Safety usually refers to being physically safe from harm, but it also includes security and stability in other aspects of life, such as health, employment, access to quality education, and relationships. This video draws on findings from a community-based participatory project where Syrian civil war survivors reflected on their own sense of safety in relation to their migration journey and resettlement in Canada. Karim is a composite character based on the findings of this project. His story shows the real experiences of some Syrians whose physical safety as well as relational, financial, and educational security was disrupted due to Syria's civil war. Karim was a Syrian man living in Daraa with his wife and 4 children when the war began. The intensity of the bombing and fighting made him feel in constant danger of being injured or killed, but when he lost his job, he also lost his sense of financial stability. The armed conflict also forced his children's school to close, and he lost a sense of security in their future as well. Karim was especially worried about his wife when she would go to the market or to visit family, because there were extra threats to safety for women during the war. Karim and his family lived with a constant sense of fear, and so his emotional well-being suffered as well. Karim and his family fled Syria to seek safety in a neighboring country and were placed in a refugee camp. Although Karim felt relieved that both he and his family were no longer in physical danger, he was separated from his culture, friends, and extended family members and had no way of earning an income in the refugee camp. These factors made Karim feel vulnerable to other potential harms. He lived with the constant fear that he and his family would be deported and forced to return to the dangers and insecurities of Syria. Karim's sister, who lived in the capital city of another nearby country, also faced hardships and discrimination for being both Syrian and a refugee. She was forced to work long hours for low pay in a factory, and her children were not allowed to attend school. Even though they were young, her children were also required to work to cover their household expenses. Karim realized that conditions were unstable for Syrians in many different transit countries. Whether in a camp or a city, they experienced ongoing threats to their sense of security. 2 years later, Karim was resettled in Canada with his family. Although Karim and his family were physically safe in their new homeland, and the challenges of adapting to life in Canada made them feel insecure in their new lives, Karim felt intense psychological stress in Canada, even though he was no longer living in a war zone. His children had gaps in their education due to their time in the refugee camp, and the whole family was unfamiliar with Canada's culture and language. Karim found that his limited English language skills made it difficult to find a suitable job and get to know Canadians. Changing roles and expectations with his children and wife created insecurity at home as well. He felt that his family did not have the tools they needed to build a secure future in their new country. Karim realized that his personal sense of security was tied to the safety and security of his family. He worried about his children's safety, both their physical safety as well as their future. Karim noticed that whenever he heard an airplane, fireworks, or even the sound of thunder, he immediately was reminded of the war in Syria and felt afraid, even though there was no longer any physical danger. Separation from his parents and siblings was also a continuing threat to his feeling safe and secure in Canada. In spite of the challenges, Karim found there were many ways to create security in Canada. By choosing to focus on the future, he found that hope began to replace his fears and memories of the war. Having responsibilities to support and care for his family gave him strength and motivation. With time, Karim began to build more relationships within the Syrian community. Together, they organized regular gatherings to express their fears, share concerns, and support each other to address their safety challenges. He maintains hope that one day soon he can enjoy a secure, safe future with his family members in Canada, and continues to petition the government to expedite the sponsorship process.